So I'm going to be blatantly honest with you. I, who has not ever made a video for YouTube or anything whatsoever, just spent 45 minutes uh, recording and explaining um, this entire track I have here set up. Allow me to make sure it is reset here. No. I just spent 45 minutes explaining this and didn't realize with the settings I had in OBS that you just couldn't see the master, which is mildly upsetting considering I went to the master quite a bit. So I'm going to be spending a significantly shorter amount of time. I'm going to try and speed run through explaining everything I just explained in the period of how much exactly. Let's see how much exactly. All right, my hard drive. Okay. Wait, no, that's just the wrong thing. You look here, OBS recordings. This is 46 minutes long. I spent 46 minutes of my time to realize that you couldn't see this. Now, that's an L, if I do say so myself. But not wasting any more time, not we, I haven't, this feels really weird just talking to no one, am going to proceed to explain every ounce of this in just not nearly as much detail as I explained in 45 minutes. If you would like something more in depth, then you should probably tell me and I could like get in depth, like a lot more in depth about why I mix some things like the way I did or how I made some of the things in Serum. What is Serum? It is the main wavetable synth I used for this. It looks like this. I'm not going to show you any of the Serum things like I did in that other thing because I don't want to spend 46 minutes again making another thing because it's 11:20 or whatever run out, you know. And I'm not looking to stay up until like 12. So, frankly, this is what the intro sounds like. Everything you see down here is not the vocals. All this stuff here is to establish a sort of ambience. The chimes is like, this is like the only time it pops up in the track. You've got hit stuff here to make impacts. You've got a light version of the kick that is later used in the drop. It is not sidechained. Sidechained is wonderful. It's when you basically duck the volume to really whatever you want. You can sidechain really anything, but most commonly you do it with a kick. You've got two samples from Labs here that are being just put through reverb, and that's just about it. One's Valhalla Supermassive and all that. And so those repeat, and then you have the first Serum of the entire track right here. It's just what it sounds like. It's not too complicated. Yeah. You've got percussion here. I'm probably gonna gloss over a few things. You got vocals. Most everything here is being put through a low pass. The vocals obviously also have reverb on them. Here you have a lead here that just consists of purely a sine wave. You've got the same Bell Labs sound. You've got a lead that has delay on it. And as well as that, you have a music box which doesn't have delay on it, and it's just the same one that's being used here. The entire time, you've got this wubby wub thing I have appropriately named. Just playing the chords of this. Since this is a genre called Kawaii Future Bass, it uses, and because, you know, it also literally exists in the original song, there's this like tritone chord thingy going on there, which is like a staple of all Kawaii music. At least, you know, how it's been produced, you know, and westernized, I suppose, I think, is probably the proper term for it. Do not quote me. I am by no means an expert. So that's that. You got some delay stuff going on that I feel makes it sound a lot brighter. You got the percussion providing a rhythm to the stuff. You've got the hit there, and that's really it for that first half. For this, you've got percussion going, with mostly just add stuff, which is just claps. Really, that's mostly what it is. And then here you've got this, and it's reversed for a bit more impact. You've got a whole bunch of effects. All this does is to just like establish this kind of atmosphere of like a schoolyard. Bell rings, kids go yay, wow, oh my god, school's out, which is honestly appropriate considering literally the last day of school is tomorrow, as I am recording this on the 15th of July. Wait, June. I knew that. That's all that does. There's a reverse crash here, normal crash, trap metal crash, which is ironic considering this is probably exact opposite genre of trap metal. You've got a stronger kick that's still used in the drop and stuff. That gets sidechained. You've got the first verse of the song. You've got perk loops here, as well as this thing that it's just a thing from IRSL's kit that I put like a little bit of spatial reverb on. You got a snare and a clap there layered together. Same wubby wub. With the mid bass, which I honestly kind of love the way it sounds there. Here you've got the sub bass, just doing the exact same thing as the mid bass. Because honestly, there's no reason why they really should like not do the same thing. There's a volume automation for the little roll of kicks here. And that's what that does. And then you get into the chorus. This is the chorus of the song. It gets played like 3 times, I think. Yeah, here, and then there. And so you've got the bell thing playing what sounds like that one. So it kind of reminds me of that one phone ringtone I realized in my last 46-minute long recording that is useless because it doesn't even have the master in it, and honestly, it's far too long. Anyways, here you've got a super saw and a hyper saw that I created both in Serum. It's being put through a bit crusher and a low pass filter. There's a sweep, that same thing that's used earlier on in the thing. There is a whole bunch of stuff here. You've got a low pass filter for the music box on here. You've got, I believe this is a phaser that is being turned off with this automation. As well as an OTT that makes it sound a lot sharper, as you can tell. That's what it would sound like if that had the OTT high gain up. This is sound goodizer to make the bass, the sub bass pop a lot more in the mix. Because the sub bass would be underwhelming if not for that. Got the main melody, which is followed by my modification, which also goes here too. It's just a modification that I made the original thing, just really simple variations. That's follow like probably no music theory whatsoever. I just like the way it sounds, man. Like, I don't use my brain. Got sidechain on the kicks. Kick. This crash plays on every single kick here. Snare, snare, kick. Don't worry about that. That comes in later. And you've got like 3 things playing the melody: bell, that, and that. The same. This is the same delay thing that plays here too. So those together do that. And I really like this pitch bend that goes there. That's pretty much like the big thing there. The hypersaw and supersaw layer together go through this. Both these are routed to this channel, and this right here is just an automation of the frequency of this knob there thing. Yeah. And all you hear is mid bass. I know I literally said moments ago that there's no reason why the sub bass and mid bass shouldn't be just playing together, but that's because I just like the feeling of this more, and the hit on the second chord more when you just don't have, you know, when you have the absence. You have the absence of the sub bass there. I simply prefer it like that. Same stuff. This that you can barely hear, and honestly might as well not even be in there because you can't really hear it at all. Unless that's just me, maybe other people can hear it just fine. Just every beat, chord space, and then the same thing I did with this, where it's just, this is being panned here. It does not get panned in this. I don't know why this isn't down here, because frankly it should be. And it's essentially the same thing. This goes through a low pass filter, just leading into that next chord. And so that goes like that, and then soon enough you've got this sweep transition from Kashmir, who has amazing packs, great samples and stuff, especially if you want to make house, but I just use them for general purpose. But the same hit you hear all up in here, as you can see, it looks similar because it is literally like the same thing that I just copied and pasted here. There's a weird variation in rhythm here where this is like a half step forward because I end this entire like section of like, where does it end here? I honestly have no clue, and frankly I don't care, and it doesn't matter that much. It just goes up through a low pass filter here. You've got the elementary ambience I just found randomly in YouTube playing. To just give more of that atmosphere. You've got the break going on here. There is a drum and bass kind of loop going on here that I chopped and stuff for my needs. Mostly just variating the variating, is that a word? I don't even know. It's too late for this. Essentially just variations in the snare rhythm there and stuff like that. You can see where I chopped it because, you know, yeah. There's this stuff which changes the sound of this drastically. If this didn't exist, in this next part, not having this disabled, which is what this does, is this disables the sound godizers on both the hypersaw and supersaw, is it would essentially completely drown out the lead and stuff, because then that becomes like the most raw and prominent part of this next bit, where the chorus goes again. Woo, chorus! Yeah, we love you! Okay. Anyways. Crash, yeah. Don't mind the name of that. This is just another bell sound for more atmosphere. It's this little thingy that I made. Or, well, did I make this? I don't know. I know I have something similar to it. No, it's not. It's from the thing, probably. The midis, but I made something similar about myself anyways, so I don't care. Literally like the exact same hit if I just remove that. And then there's vocal chops. The way I find vocal chops is by just like finding just constant tones in the voice. Like if I go in here. You can tell how each one of these is like one note. So like I would just like go in here and I would just like that. That's just like one note, like a da, da, you know. Um, there's a snare here that is in a low pass filter. That is really here mostly to pay homage to the original song, where this exact rhythm is used. I think like a couple of times in the original. You've got the bell playing the actual full melody, not that do 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 do, just over and over again. Um, you've got the supersaw and hypersaw once again coming in via low pass filter. It's like a low pass filter on like everything in the song. Um, you've got the second drop here, which is also here. It's important to mention because this is an alternate melody which is reused here in the second half of the second drop. Yeah, the first half of the second drop is there's not honestly that much special about it. It's essentially the same first half of this as a first half of the first drop. And it switches up the melody. The chords rhythm changes appropriate to or whatever. That's not the word. Appropriately isn't the word, but appropriate to however the how the way this melody changes. You've got the pitch bends here, which is what all this green stuff is. Just the same kind of rule here, crash on every kick. Snare. It's also got this layer on it too. On the second drop. I know I didn't mention that in my 46-minute, so therefore this is clearly better. Alright, and then it really gets into like the final bit here. You've also got this ARP, which I don't think I explained. I just made this in Serum. Why is it not playing? Hello, excuse me. Oh yeah, that's right. This is also connected to this, right? Yeah, it's also connected to that. So if I wanted to play this by itself, I would do this like that. And that's just that. It's just got a little bit of spatial reverb on it. That gets over with. I thought that was out of tune for a moment. And the second bit is basically you just got the basses, the hyper saw is gone, it's only super saw. The sound godizer is gone, so that way this doesn't drown out the vocals because it really drowns out the vocals. Because the vocals and this start fighting for the most prominent part of the track, and that's just not what you want because they just clash. You've got this, which is very honestly, this part is very similar to the chorus. I think I literally copy and pasted the earlier break chorus bit here onto this, and I essentially just changed like a few things. The hypersaw obviously isn't there, like I mentioned, and it just takes like the kind of drum pattern I got going on in this, except there's like no layering to the clap, and you've got this like reference to earlier on in the track. You've got the kick roll there, as well as the delay lead, as well as that same bell coming in from the stuff all the way back here. No atmospheric stuff, no ambient stuff, really. All right, and just this Lab's soft piano. It's like my best piano sample that I have, and one of the only ones really. It plays several other times in the song. And by several, I mean, well, two. And yeah, that just goes to finish it off. It sounds drastically different in this compared to that, probably because it's got a compressor and stuff like that. I think this is it. Yeah. The OTT I have put on it is removed, and this compressor is introduced, which basically is what allows it to sound like, you know, well, compressed. That's that's the word. Um, yeah. Essentially, it's just playing the chords and the main melody, and that is it. That is the entire outro there, with the delay from that and stuff. Just add that final reverb for resolution, and that is really like the whole track explained, like over the course of what 25 ish minutes, I believe. Um, quite a bit less than 46, so that should be fine. Hope it's not too long, because honestly, if I try to shorten this any like down even further, it would be way too simplified and way oversimplified and stuff. So yeah. And so essentially, that's pretty much all there is to this, really. Um, I mean, like that was really a very simplified explanation of stuff. Um, I could go a lot more in depth on the mixing that I did with this and the sound designing I did with Serum, considering every single thing besides these two bell sounds and this piano sound is stuff that I made myself from the default Serum patch, um, which looks like this basic square sound. Um, yeah, everything I made from scratch, I could talk about that. And there's plenty of stuff I could talk about with the master, the mixing I did. I'll like quickly go through and stuff, and you'll see. There's a parametric EQ on just about everything, either for a low pass or because I'm EQing out some frequency I don't want or something like that. You know, I don't even know. I don't even know what this is about. Like, don't even ask me. Like, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But yeah, that's essentially it, and that'll be just about all.